Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you find yourself. I hope you're doing well. It's another day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And today is Wednesday, 21st of May. Time is running so fast. But it is what it is. Let's look at what the dollar index is doing. So yesterday we had dollar index somewhere here, and I was talking about this up candle, and if we could break it, then we'll be looking for price to trade to this volume imbalance, but we couldn't break it, and then price rejected. Now the levels that I was anticipating price to react off from, they've traded through all of that. So at this point, today being Wednesday, I think that dollar index will go lower once we break this down candle. So if we lose this down candle here, we'll be expecting a continuation to the downside to this, and then maybe subsequent gaps on the lower time frame will also be traded too. But this down candle needs to give up. Okay, with today's price action, if we can go below this low, then the perfect trade will be next week, which is to anticipate next week actually going down. And if we get that, I think next week will be a fantastic week for trading, because that will give us a meaningful trade, because this week I was anticipating higher prices. I was anticipating higher prices because of how last week closed, but since that's not happening, then we switch and then we look for continuation to the downside, because this is not reaccumulation. This down candle will not be a reaccumulation, and then all these candles will be redistribution to continue going down, to come and attack this low, or even to come below this low, and then somewhere in here in the week. So let's see how today is gonna go. Now, based on that, euro, it's likely going to continue also going up. We will see, because there's a divergence between the euro and the pound and the dollar. So pound has made a new high, euro struggling, whilst dollar index has not made a new low yet. So there's a disconnection between how all these three pairs move. Hence, I don't know, something is happening. Not until we get a proper displacement with the candle closed, that's when you can see what price is trying to do. So this week will be maybe the confirmation, and next week we look for continuation. So that will bring us to euro confirming a close above this high for a continuation to the upside. Now with that, you can see we have equal highs over here, we have equal highs over there, and then definitely that one too. So if the week can close bullish, as we see, then we are likely gonna continue going up, right? And then that's when looking for longs on the lower time frame will be very, very important. As it stands, I'm still not convinced yet because the week has not closed yet. But once the week closes, then I'll basically be looking for longs to continue going up. Okay, let's continue. That would be the same for the British pound. You can see they've gone for that high, immediately rejecting. With this sort of price action here, right, usually it'll be hard for them to go back up above that high. So maybe British pound might struggle to go up for the time being. But eventually, if the week closes like this, then next week we can look for a proper buy. So I don't think it'll be a good idea to go long this week, okay? Because they've already gone for the weekly high or previous month high, and that will make it too it will not make it a good idea to go for a long, because the target, which is the previous week high, has been achieved. So buying will be not the best idea. Selling probably inside this fair value gap, and I think it's a bit too late. Maybe highlight that same level here for New York session. If New York can come there, then put your stop loss up here and then aim for the lows down here. And I think Australian dollar. I think the Australian dollar is also caught into that small consolidation over here for a long period of time. With what the daily has done so far, I think we will come here. I think we will be coming there. Okay, that level, that will be the drawn liquidity, and they can even go as far as this one. Okay, so Australian dollar will be a buy. Look for a buy during the New York session. Let me see. Yesterday I was looking for them to take out this low and still be a buy, but that did not happen. Now, in such conditions, let me go to the daily. In this kind of conditions, it makes it a little bit challenging to trade because price is, quote unquote, not going anywhere. Okay, you can see from this high to this low since last week Wednesday, we've stayed inside just that price range. So there's no displacement going in any direction, and it will make it very difficult to actually get even an entry, right? Unless you scalp it on the lower time frames. With the New Zealand dollar, I think yesterday I was looking for them to trade here and then maybe a push up, but they've rejected. So with New Zealand dollar, this will be the next drawn liquidity, and I'm not seeing like displacements happening. These are all just tiny little candles this is not, I think in my opinion, this is not institutional buying going on, or quote unquote. I don't see algorithmic movement in here. Okay, all that I'm seeing is just tiny small candles. We need big displacement candles like this, like that, in a specific direction, which in this case we are not having that. Okay, but I feel like it's gonna go up here, and it feels like something is happening, which is accumulation. Okay, because when we are not having big candles and we're having small candles like this, usually that's accumulation taking place. So New York session buy to go up here would be the best idea for a scalp for today, between the 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. We're looking for price to trade up there. Dollar CAD. We go to the weekly. So same thing. Now let me mention this. With the way I look at price, the place or where you are likely, if you are not patient, going to take a loss, it's only when price is reversing. So if price is going up, we follow that up. The only time you are likely gonna take a loss is when it's reversing, because when it's reversing, the idea is we don't predict the high, we just let it form. So at some point the rejection will come. During that particular week, you will still be looking for higher prices, aka when the week starts, you'll be anticipating a pullback and then a continuation. Now, if you're not patient enough for the pullback to happen, one, and for price to give you a confirmation that is going back up, two, you will buy and then it will stop you out because price is reversing. And the ability to recognize it that is reversing, that will also be a key skill. So before, I was looking for continuations. Before, I was looking for continuations, and when reversals are taking place, I get caught in it. But not anymore, because I look for the low of the week to form first before I engage. So that is the trick in not getting stopped out when price is reversing. So here, right, this week I'm bullish. Now it doesn't mean I come straight away and then I'll start looking for the buy. I'll have a level within the week, and then I'll be anticipating the low of the week to form. How will it form? For example, this is the last down candle on the H4. So Monday, I will expect price to trade down. Tuesday, price to take Monday's low out and then reject, and then give me a fair value gap during the London or New York session. That would be the confirmation. Now, if that does not happen, okay, then there's no trade. If that does not happen, then there's no trade. Why? Because that would be the key to let you know that we formed the low of the week, and then you can start looking for the buy. Okay, so you're always going to be tracking your power of 3, the opening, manipulation, expansion, and then the close. You'll be anticipating that every single candle. If you trade scalping, you can do it on the H4 and daily. If you trade day trade, daily, daily and weekly. If you trade short term, daily, weekly, monthly. If you trade swing trade, then you do the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, which every candle that opens, you anticipate manipulation, then expansion. Okay, so that is that. So dollar CAD this week will be the confirmation that we are rejecting, and then we might probably come back for this low. Hence next week you look for market to open, go up, and then go down. And on the daily you have a level, so I'll have maybe this level here marked, and when the week starts, that is where I want to anticipate the high of the week forming. So Monday opens, and then I expect Monday go up, Tuesday take trade into it. During the London or New York session, give me a rejection, high of the week, then I'll look to sell and I'll go down. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, so patience is gold, because now we need this to close on the weekly like that, and then you can look for the sell. If not, I don't do anything, because it's not giving me the buy, or I cannot sell either, because this still is still active. This can reject and go all the way back up. Okay, so hopefully you understand. What else? Let's go to gold. Okay, so gold, I think the levels that I gave that they were going to trade to, here first, here, and then there. Now we are above it. From the weekly perspective, this will give a confirmation that we are going back up again. We've resumed the up movement, but again, the week has to close first. So today is a very crucial day, because today is the day price is going above that weekly high. Hence, if we can close on a daily basis above it and leave this gap here, that'll be a very good price action to sustain the continuation to the upside. So today's closure is key for a fair value gap to form, and then we can expect a continuation to the upside. Okay, so if we sustain it, then the next upside objective will be here, 3352. Okay, 3352 will be the next upside objective. Crude oil. So crude oil, yesterday I was expecting them to trade here, displays down to come and attack this low, but we didn't get any displacement from that level. And I think overnight yesterday we had price shoot up and clear that equal high. Now from the weekly perspective, this high here now taken can be all that it requires for price to come back down. Hence, just be on the alert because they've taken out the previous week high. Usually I would have preferred them doing that during the London or New York session. So this happening in Asia, they might send price back up again. Okay, now when it comes back up here again, do we sustain or do we reject immediately? That is your clue as to what price is going to do next. So if we sustain, then we will look for a continuation to the upside. If we reject immediately and break structure, then we'll be coming back down to attack these lows, and then we'll be coming right back in here. So watch and see how price will behave once we go back above this high. Not this one, because this happened overnight. It will come back there again during the session. So either now or during the purple session, price will come back up there again. But when it does, make sure you see a sustained continuation above it or a rejection. Now with the rejection, you need to see it break the last down candle. That is the confirmation for a movement down. If we get this, that will be the confirmation for the movement down. Monday, let me see if I can bring weekly opening. There you go. So that's the weekly opening price, right? We barely went down and we've been going up. Actually, Monday went up above it, Tuesday up above it, and then Wednesday. So high of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So watch if we get this price action, then we might be coming back down. If we sustain it, then we might go up today, but yet still Thursday is likely going to form the high and then might not continue going up again. ES. So let me get rid of this. Let's go to the H4. That down candle, I think is the narrative is similar to what I was which pair was I talking about? Dollar CAD, the low of the week. Give me 1 second. I think I have the postman at my door. Oh wow. Sorry guys. So I've been speaking and anyway, let me go back. I think I had my microphone on mute. So I've said all that I said and no one heard anything. I presume. I just caught it. Oh my days. Anyway, so I think I was on ES when I left. So all that I was saying on ES was that if we lose this down candle, we have equal lows over here and then equal lows down here. And like I was saying yesterday, since I'm expecting, or I was expecting them just to tap here and then give us that rejection, it can happen today with just a drop and then we will resume going down. Okay, so during the New York session, watch here. Do we reject and go up? If we go up, we might tap into that weekly gap one more time and then we start coming back down. If not, then they will just break it and then we start going down, which, looking at the way price is shaped, this will be the best one. The best option is for them to drop. The only problem is how the drop is happening, right? It's so thin, not aggressive. I would have wanted it to be aggressive, because the more aggressive it is, the easier or the faster it's gonna fall. Now think about it this way. The market, right, is engineered in a way all the time. So this move heading for this high is what I've been talking about, which is down candle, up candle, taking out a high. When it does that, it brings this idea of bullishness. It brings the idea of strength. It brings the idea of momentum to go up. When it goes above the high, there are traders that will be expecting a continuation. We call them the breakout traders. Price has broken to the upside, so they're gonna look to buy it, and then it will suck them in. When it sucks them in, it needs to reject aggressively so that they don't have second thoughts about closing the trade. It will not allow them, because it needs to reject aggressively so that they will feel some pain. They might have some hope that, I think this is just dragging its feet. You go back up, and then you get here, and then maybe you go back up. But I would have preferred it to be aggressive so that they will feel pain. Now, it's not a bad thing, what I'm saying. Okay? It's not a bad thing. It's just the mechanisms of how, the market works. Because the market, all that it does is try to make you feel a certain way. Okay? So this move here, it makes you feel exciting, like euphoria. You are in a long, it's going up. Then it gets up here. If you do not get in, those that didn't believe that it was going to go up, they're going to start buying here. And then it rejects. Now they are feeling pain. They're feeling sad. They are depressed. Okay, so think about the market or look at price and then equate emotions to it, or see it as an emotional activator, right? It's activating emotions. So whenever you feel sad, depressed, that means price is rejecting aggressively. Whenever you feel euphoria, whenever you feel greed, it means that price is running up aggressively. Okay. Okay, and then every single one of them has a reason. Okay, humans are just subject to emotional manipulation. These candles, that's what they do. They manipulate your emotions. So when it comes up here, those that feel like, yay, price is gonna continue going up, let's buy it, then they make them feel pain. Down here, they'll be afraid to buy it because they feel like it's gonna drop. Right? Those that get courage to buy, they're gonna feel greed. Let's add more. Let's add more. It's going up. Okay. So when you look at the price, think about that. Think about what kind of emotions is it trying to evoke, not on you, but on the majority of the traders out there. Because if you can catch how the emotions is going to be experienced, you can trade that. So here, when it goes above a high, what do you think is happening? It's making a new high. There will be traders, countless of traders that trade breakout. They're gonna look to buy, and then it rejects. So with their rejection, you can look to sell it because it will trap them. And then you have those that shorted here. They shorted because they thought that this is the high, price is gonna continue going down, so their stop loss is gonna be up there, definitely. So now price comes back and hands them out, and now they are also sad because they thought that this was the high. So there's a lot of emotions that built up, especially when we approach levels like this. Down here, a lot of traders would have felt disappointed because they might feel like price is going to continue going down. Okay, so that's that for ES. So what I was saying about AI16Z was that I wanted to see them trade down here down here to take out the previous week low before going up, but that did not happen. So where we are now, if you want to buy, make sure we trade and close above this gap. If we close above the gap, then you can look to buy, because I think what it's doing is gathering momentum to go and take out this high. Okay, because that's the quote unquote resistance level, and I gave you that price level. I think it was 0.45. If we can trade through that, then we go up. But right now, this is the resistance. If you trade above it, you can buy and then maybe leave your liquidation or your stop loss down here, because if you come back, maybe they'll come a little bit lower, and then we want to see big candles shooting up to go and attack that resistance level, right? And I was saying same thing for Solana, where we've already traded for the previous week low, so we don't actually need it to do another move down. However, on the H4, we have a bearish structure where we took out these highs here, we went down, so this might be a pullback and likely gonna come back down again. So watch that level again, another resistance level here, which comes in at 176.75. If they can trade through that, then we will resume going up. And I was saying something important on Bitcoin, that Bitcoin I still want to see them trade down here, because they did not trade into this gap, so this is likely going to be traded too. Okay, the only problem, if we don't do that, then next month, which is June, the low of that month is likely going to be here. They might drop down into this before going up, because on the daily there's nothing there. Okay, there's no PD array, there's no gap. All the blocks has been exhausted. So at the beginning of next month, if we don't trade down here, at the beginning of next month, you might see a sharp move aggressively coming down, and its purpose is just to come and trade into that weekly gap to resume going up. Okay, so watch this gap here. If we don't come this week, this will be where they are likely going to trade for the low of the month of June, and then it will resume going up because the month candle will close bullish. Hence, we are likely going to come back down with a wick like this, and then that will also shoot up, and that will now create something like this, and that will then create a fair value gap on the monthly before we break this high, and then we resume going up. Okay, so have that gap on the weekly on your chart, and then like I said, just leave it. We'll see, because we need to touch this. If we don't touch it this week, next week we might begin like a slow movement there, and then the month will end, because what we've done is we open, we drop, we rally, and then we close. So this month we went up, so we are about to close. So think about it as the daily range, where we open, we drop, we rally, and then we close. The same thing for the monthly. So we open, we drop, we rally, so we are about to close. And that's why price is not moving, which I think next week might be the same. Then we open a new one, we drop, and then we rally. This dropping is what I'm highlighting, that it's gonna drop into that gap on the weekly. So watch out for that. Okay, and then I was saying the same thing for Ethereum, that if we close above this high, still watch this, because again on the monthly is closing bullish. Okay, so the next month candle can open, drop, just touch this candle's high, and then expand up again, because we are coming for 50%. We are coming for 50%, and then somewhere here, OTE. Okay, so we will continue going up. We will continue going up, but they might dip in here first before doing that. Hype. That's the drawn liquidity. Same thing, same narrative. We want to see them drop here before going up. If it goes up first, this level will be the low of the month for next month. So have it on your chart. But from what I'm seeing, it seems that we might probably stay in a consolidation for some time. Probably by the end of the month, that's when we will drop down and then expand up. So don't look for trades yet. Look for manipulation or a pullback, and then you buy. XRP, same thing, somewhere down here for a move back up again. What is equal high? Tatua here, and then we look for a rejection. Then this one, I think yesterday I spoke about one more potentially move down to give us the 3 Indian drive, then we reject. So touch key 0.000011, run that low, high resistance, immediately reject, and then we start coming back up, maybe all the way up here, because that's a nice engineered liquidity above it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I apologize for that silence because I didn't know that, I was mute. So, okay. Let's call it a day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Hopefully, there'll be something for us to trade. So far, personally, I've not even taken a single trade yet for the week because I've not seen what I need to see. When I see what I need to see, that is when I'll take a trade, because you have to follow rules, and my rules suggest that there's nothing for me to do yet, so I'm still waiting. All right, so I'll see you all tomorrow, same time. Take care.